Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News starts right now.
A nurse run down in Livonia last night trying to rescue a patient who had run into the middle of the street. And that 42-year-old nurse would not survive her injuries. That's our top story tonight. Good to have you with us. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. Tonight, her friends and fellow nurses are just heartsick over what happened right outside the Majestic Care nursing home. And that's where Mara McDonald is right now. Mara, the police are telling us this happened about 9:40 last night.
Devin, that's right. And when you talk to neighbors who were out here who saw this whole thing go down in real time, they say it was absolute chaos in the middle of 5 Mile Road, which is right here, and that it was so bad that they were calling 911 before she ever got hit. Police marked where the crash happened. They say an elderly patient ran out of the Majestic Care nursing home and right into the middle of the road where she laid down. This neighbor who was out for a jog, who doesn't want to be identified, saw it all happen.
She was laying on 5 miles saying some random crazy stuff.
Nurse Latrice Jones, who goes by Pebbles, was trying to get her out of the road along with other staff. They had a wheelchair out there. They'd gotten the patient into it, but traffic just wasn't stopping.
Car came, ended up hitting one of the employees.
Did she go flying?
Yeah, it was a bad accident for sure. She was hit at a decent speed. The car was probably going at least 45, speeding limit 45 down here.
Jones ended up getting hit and thrown when an 80-year-old driver, trying to avoid the wheelchair, hit her and then hit 2 other cars. Jones was pronounced dead at the hospital. Back here live now. According to Majestic Care, they declined any on-camera interviews today. They do say, however, that they are cooperating fully with the Livonia Police Department, and they say Jones was an outstanding nurse who always went above and beyond for her patients. We are live in Livonia tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Oh boy. All right, Mara. Our other top story tonight at 10, a fisherman was rescued Saturday from the Detroit River after he fell in at Riverside Park.
It comes just a week after a man fell 140 feet from the Ambassador Bridge where he was working. The same company that rescued him rescued the fisherman Saturday. Pamela Osborne joins us live to talk about this heroic rescue. Pam.
Kimberly and Devin, these rescues actually happen more often than you would think. People are always falling into the river, and it happens again so often that they actually practice what to do in this exact situation. Sam Buchanan, he was a part of both of those rescues that you mentioned. He took us out on the Detroit River today to talk about what they normally do during a shift, and also to talk about Saturday when his coffee break was interrupted by yet another call for help.
They thought they could just go swimming there, and so they jumped in, and they had no clothes on.
In his 38 years with J.W. Westcott Company,
and his jet ski went down the river, and we went and got his jet ski for him.
Captain Sam Buchanan has seen a lot. These mailboats and their crew do a lot more than make pizza deliveries. They're often called upon to save lives. Days after they rescued the worker who you see here falling 140 feet from the Ambassador Bridge, they helped get another man to shore.
He was hanging on to a piece of rebar or something that was coming out of the dock.
Buchanan took us to the exact spot along the south end of the pier where the fisherman fell over and into the river.
He said that he would look down to check his line, and then he just tumbled into the river.
It was a dangerous situation. The man was near the seawall where Buchanan says he could have easily become stuck underneath it.
He was doing okay dog paddling in the river, but you see how choppy it is here right now? It was just like that, but it was from the small boat traffic.
They used a ring buoy and a ladder to get him on board.
But he was fine. He was fine.
Buchanan says they practice for rescues like these. He's done the real thing more than he can count. He doesn't think much of it, except that's what you're supposed to do when someone's in trouble.
You know, you'll see these videos where somebody's in trouble and there's 100 people standing around and nobody's stepping in. And I just couldn't ever be that person. You know, you gotta help.
And Sam says he does know the name of the person that he did help rescue. He has his phone number on his slip of paper, but he hasn't yet called him. But again, just what a remarkable thing that he is able to do this. And again, has done it more times than he can even actually count in his 38 years with this company on this river, with a history of doing this as well. Kimberly, Devin.
Incredible. Okay. Pamela, we appreciate it. A teenager is recovering tonight after being hit by a car in Dearborn Heights. Sky 4 was over the scene this afternoon on Telegraph near Ford Road. Police say 2 teenagers were trying to cross the road when one decided to turn around. The other one kept going and was hit. A witness says the worst part was seeing the reaction from the boy's mother.
His mom, as soon as she showed up, the pain in her voice, she was just screaming, and I shed a couple tears. I couldn't hold back because all I could imagine was, what if that was my mom?
The driver of the car stopped and is cooperating with police.
A foul smell coming from a home in Brownstown Township leads animal control to making a rather shocking discovery. Along with Brownstown police, they were called to a home after reports of urine and ammonia were coming from a house. When they arrived, they found between 50 and 100 cats living inside. They say it is not the only time. They were at the same home last year and found between 20 and 30 then. Fortunately, police say the cats were all okay.
The cats were well cared for. They seemed to be healthy weight and, doing pretty good. Unfortunately, the Brownstown ordinance states 3 animals in the house, and there were way more than that.
Police say the homeowner is going to face several fines. Meantime, the local animal shelter is now trying to find homes for these many felines. And if you want to adopt, you can contact Brownstown Animal Shelter. The number here at the bottom of your screen, it's 734-675-4008.
A Detroit man is behind bars tonight for fatally shooting his girlfriend. Last Thursday, officers responding to a reported shooting at Marisal's and Minerva Street and found the victim, Veronica Smart, lying face down in the street, unresponsive, with a gunshot wound to the head. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say while driving near the intersection, Eugene McKeithen fired a handgun, fatally wounding Smart. McKeithen was arrested the same day. He's been charged with first-degree murder, felon in possession of a firearm, and 2 counts of felony firearm.
A little boy is left with a spine and brain injury after he was involved in a crash in Southfield. Police say the boy was traveling northbound around 5 p.m. yesterday. Witnesses say 2 cars attempted to merge into the middle lane at the same time. While trying to avoid contact, the vehicle the boy was riding in lost control, drove up an embankment, and hit a concrete wall. 6-year-old boy from Ecorse, unresponsive but breathing when officers arrived. His mother and brother, who were also in the car, suffered minor injuries. Tonight, the owner of a python that spent a night slithering around Waterford Township is given a ticket for violating a township ordinance.
The yellow snake, named Mr. Squiggles, was missing for hours before township police officers wrangled him. The township's animal ordinance prohibits residents from owning poisonous and exotic animals. The owner now must appear in court for a formal hearing, and we'll keep you updated on how this progresses. Turning now to the weather. Thunderstorms gone, starting to dry out now.
Kim Adams joins us now. A lot to talk about, but let's start with the air quality alert that we've got that in effect for tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we've gotten quite used to these, and here's another one tomorrow. An air quality alert for all of southeast lower Michigan. This one is for those of you that have sensitivities to air quality. Tonight the air quality is moderate, but we are going to be in the unhealthy for some tomorrow. So that's up here right under unhealthy for all. It includes people with asthma, respiratory issues. So that's where we are for the alert tomorrow. During the day tomorrow, we'll see things heat up and the humidity will be up as well. 88 degrees, might touch off just an isolated shower tomorrow, but the main event will be on Wednesday when we do expect severe storms, and we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes.
Still ahead here at 10, you won't believe what washed ashore to a Florida beach as beachgoers were trying to enjoy a Saturday morning in the water.
But first, tensions are rising at the Texas border, and it's gaining the national spotlight. Coming up, the message from the governor of Texas and where things stand. That's next.